Serious, what's the worst part about being the older sibling? For me, being almost 19 years older than my siblings, it's when they forget that I'm actually their grandchild. My parents were young when they had me, and then they split up, and then met new spouses and had new kids. Oh, let's take a photo of everyone except Jiz because we forget about him. I just transferred X amount of money to all my grandchildren, except Jiz because he is an adult. It never really bothered me until my girlfriend said something, but now it kind of does. I feel like I'm forgotten a lot of the time. I do well for myself, and have no need for their money, but it's nice to be noticed sometimes. Watching your younger sibling take your old stuff and practically destroy it because you're too old for that and they don't know how to take care of things. You watch your parents become less and less strict with your younger siblings and you watch them do things you were never allowed to do. I thought being the oldest had its perks, but recently I've only been able to notice all the responsibility and chores my parents push on me. Even while I am taking online classes for college, it's my fault if stuff isn't done while they're at work. Don't get me wrong, I love my parents, but they can do some ridiculous things. Yes, same here. Even when a younger sibling is at home and doesn't have classes, you still need to do the majority of the work. You're the one forced to include your younger siblings in things, which is a social burden, and you have no one older than you to stick up for you and emulate being more mature. In high school I had friends that knew exactly what to expect from applying to colleges, visiting colleges, and some of them even attended college parties with their older sibling. Meanwhile I was applying to college on my own, paying application fees out of pocket, and I had to bring my 11-year-old brother with me anytime I went to the diner, mall, or movies with my friends. They pretty much stopped inviting me at one point. I guess I'm lucky enough to have siblings close enough in age to me that when I bring them along to gatherings or parties, they actually branch off on their own and socialize. I can see how your situation was awkward. You are the assistant parent, and anything the younger siblings do gets blamed on you, because you didn't set a good example for them. The worst is that I'm expected to be great. I'm expected to have my crap together. I'm expected to be the bigger person. I'm expected to support myself. My younger brothers are not. That even when I have needed help, I'm still expected to have my crap together and be perfect, have a job, pay rent, pay more rent when it's found that I have money left over, etc. But not my brothers. Definitely, I was expected to pull myself up by my bootstraps and earn my way through life. My sister had her car insurance paid for, had her goals funded, got to coast her way through college, and even now, when her and I have an argument, my parents expect me to be the bigger person to get it resolved. I was the target for a majority of the abuse I received at the hands of my mother. My sister had me to protect her. I didn't have anyone. Being expected to be perfect to set an example for your younger siblings, and being compared to your younger sibling. Like yeah, it's usually him being compared to me, but then I feel bad because I hate being compared to other people, so I don't see why he wouldn't. You get blamed for pretty much anything and everything, and when you try to defend yourself it's always OHH is your little brother sister. My sister and I are about 2 years apart. Overall we got along pretty well. We shared a bedroom till I was about 14 and she was 12. We had a single mom, so she couldn't afford a place till I was on high school, so we could have our own rooms. The one thing I absolutely hated though, my younger sister loved dolls. Me? I never wanted a doll. Not even a Barbie doll. But my sister had so many. She's get them as gifts for years. She even got this creepy standing doll that stood in the corner of the room. It didn't have a face. She had one of those toy canopies to hold the amount of dolls she had. But could I get a mini disco ball and a lava lamp? Number. I had to pick just one. I can kind of see the lava lamp, since those things can get pretty hot. But at 14, you were certainly old enough to take basic safety precautions. If your mom didn't think you knew what those were, she could have just explained it to you and checked up from time to time. Feeling like a failure when your younger sibling is more successful than you. I'd be a lot more okay with where I was at if my sibling didn't own their own home and make more money. Loving your younger siblings immensely and wanting to take care of them and give them a better childhood than you had, but also dealing with the fact that taking care of them means accepting your own parentification and sacrificing part of your own childhood. I'm 100% convinced that the reason I don't want to have kids is because I was the emotional clutch to my youngest brothers and I had to take care of them my entire teenage years while my parents went to work. The youngest had really bad anxiety and I had to console him for hours at night because he only trusted me. It's been years since this happened and I'm still burned out. You're basically the test subject for both your parents and your siblings. Do you know why did my mom never let my brother just cry without giving a dang? Because when she did that to me I would just cry for hours and hours without stopping until she just appeared and yelled me to shut up. Do you know why did my brother never responded on a mean way to my mom? Because when I did it she slapped my face so hard she opened my lip and made me bleed. I just don't know, I feel I'm not the good one. Just a small practice before actually having a real family. Geez, sorry to say this but your mom was a C based on this comment. Being responsible for keeping the family intact. It's on you to host holiday gatherings and sort out issues amongst siblings. You're also responsible for your parents' well-being as they age. Somehow I feel that you will get the short end of the stick when it comes to inheritance. You start becoming a parent to your siblings and your parents rely on you to continue doing that. My siblings see me as more of a mom than my mom. They openly say it. It sucks. And when your mom hears it, it's your fault, haha. That's what happened to my friend and she still pee at her mom. You're the one who gets all the rules and the micromanaging all through your childhood. By the time the others come along, parents are tired and just don't give a crap what they do. Being pressed into free babysitting servitude. But personally, probably the worst part is that it was always my plan to get the frick out of Dodge as soon as I could. And I followed through. I got my first job at 16 and got my first apartment at 17. After I left, my siblings got really close with each other and at this point, it kinda feels like they've always been the only two and I'm some weird cousin they keep in touch with on Facebook. It kinda feels like I don't have siblings at all. I feel some type of way about this. I have 5 siblings all younger than me. Your points are a major factor in my childhood. Getting left with the bad mood. X. Hey Mo. What, I am in the middle of something. Younger sibling. Hey mom. Yes Angel, and the only thing that keeps me alive, what is it darling? Bulls. For us 4 it's the top one always, LMAO. Had to get the best grades, be a role model, be responsible and share my things. Even as we're older I'm the one buying gifts and checking in emotionally while they never learned how to do anything for me. Being the executor. My mother has numerous medical conditions, any one of which could cause her death, or cause her mental state to become unhinged. Because of this, my mother had her will laid out 11 years ago, at 38 when I was 20. Occasionally she even updates it. Anytime serious surgery is performed, I get a message. All things considered, it's not horrible. However, being acutely aware of the mortality of my mother is not the most pleasant of things. Same. My older brother passed away some time ago, making me the oldest and in charge. I always get the calls about updates and am the one to go take care of our mom when she needs it. I don't resent helping her of any of that stuff, but I do hate the helpless feeling from seeing her mortality right in front of me. Having to act perfect all the time because you're supposed to be a role model for your younger siblings. Like sometimes it feels like you have no room to freak up because everyone is watching your every move. I feel like I can never talk about my feelings to anyone because within 2 minutes of the conversation it will derail into a conversation about my poor brother. Look, I know my stepfather is a douchebag and he is affecting my brother, but I have freaking problems too, but it seems like the only person anybody cares about in my family is my freaking brother. Things go wrong when all of a sudden you have to look out on the 24/7 and they go crazy like they're on drugs running around pee you off while you're sitting mature. And of course the classic, person is young so it's not his fault. Also the fact that your parents will make you not allowed to do anything. Like you have to sleep at like 7 PM and then there is your young siblings who stay up till like 1 AM and go crazy till they fall asleep. Especially the fact that they won't freaking leave you alone. basically being the guinea pig so my siblings can see how something worked or didn't work for me and they can do it or steer clear. For me, it was my mom's unprocessed childhood trauma. She was the middle of 3 sisters, then grew up to have 3 daughters of her own. Her older sister bullied and abused her, and she feels that her parents took her sister's side more often and instead punished my mom for screaming. She projected her lifetime of resentment onto my relationship with my middle sister. My sister was actually extremely mean and bullied both me and our youngest sister, and my mom wouldn't punish her for it. I was bullied in school and hated seeing her do that to my baby sister, so I'd step in and punish her myself. And then my mom would accuse me of being the bully. My middle sister would also intentionally bait me into retaliating to get me in trouble. She'd make little quiet comments or do other things to wear away at me until I finally snapped. And you guessed it, I'm the bully again. I accept responsibility for my abusive behavior toward my sister and I feel horrible about it. I accept that we will never be close because I ruined that possibility. But at the same time, my mom played a huge part in this relationship dynamic too. She showed clear favoritism toward my sister because the middle child has it so hard and she seems to view older sisters as inherently abusive and mean. I had no jealousy or ill will toward my sister until my mom started with this crap. I used to play with her, read to her, teach her things, take care of her, until my mom started giving her all the special treatment and letting her off the hook for everything. By trying to even the score, she achieved the exact opposite. My mum was the middle of 3 sisters as well, and had a lot of issues about that. She took a lot of it out on me, as the oldest, and therefore I must be just like her older sister. My sister, the middle of 3, we had a younger brother, is her favorite, and is treated very differently. You're older, you should know better than to say the word stupid to your sibling. Do it again and we're taking your phone. They're just young. They don't know better than to invade your privacy, steal your stuff, tell you nobody wants you alive, physically hurt you and hit us when they don't get their way. We already talked to them and they said they won't do it again. With the amount of truth in this comment you could almost chuck it in the Bible. Having things you still like being passed down to the other younglings because you're too old for that now. Entire Pokemon binder, first editions, base set, jungle, movie promos, show dollars, gone to younger brothers. They decided to trade them for a copy of Super Smash Bros. 64. Not a bad trade in those days. Only we didn't have an N64. We had a Sega Genesis. They tried to make it fit and work. It didn't. Broke the system. Blame it on me. Mom believes them. My fault. Mom buys them a PlayStation. I'm not allowed to play it because I broke the Sega. Save up money from babysitting. Buy GameCube when it comes out. Love it. Play the crap out of it. It's mine. Mom gives to youngest brother because he wants to have one. Thanks mom. What's the worst thing? The whole you need to grow up and do bigger kid adult things. Years later, as an adult with a career and family, my 2 youngest brothers are just starting to get their crap together. One is doing better than the other that has been in and out of jail ever since he moved out. Joined the military for the sole purpose of getting away from all of that and it's worked out so far. I don't do any of that crap to my oldest daughter and her 2 younger siblings. I also had my collection of cards given to a younger sibling only for them to give most of it away to their friends. It still hurts to think about. You basically become another parent-free babysitter to your younger siblings, and at the same time you get to see your parents figure out use better parenting methods for your younger siblings that you never got. You seem to get all the parental failures as they figure out how, and your siblings get it easier. I bought my first car, my 3 siblings got them handed to them. Paid my way for everything extracurricular. Had to wait till a certain age to do something. Then younger siblings were allowed to do it at the same time, without having to wait. Example, my sisters are 2 and 3 years younger than me. I had to wait until I was 10 to be able to jump off our boat in the middle of the lake we would vacation at without a life vest. My sisters were allowed to do it at 8 and 7 years old because I was able to. I freaking hated it, and now I have issues with everything being fair and even. I use a scale to measure out portions of food so that I know that my husband and I are getting the exact same amount, down to the gram. Similarly, I had to wait until 8th grade to get a phone. My brother got it in 7th and my sister in 5th. On the outside it doesn't seem like a big deal, but that unfairness is a huge deal to me and messes with me sometimes still. So I have a younger sister and I have to watch her and her reign of chaos. The worst part is that whenever she does something dumb while we're home alone, it's suddenly my fault because I didn't stop her, or I need to set a good example, and even if neither of us frick up I don't get paid anyway, because apparently since I'm her older sister, I'm automatically responsible for her. Also, she copies me all the time. Everyone says that imitation is the simplest form of flattery, but not at the extent where it becomes annoying. Whenever I have friends over, mom makes me include her in literally everything I do with my friends. And, trust me, I really don't want to be showing my friends some of my latest adult show theories or fan fiction and have her peek over my shoulder to ask me what banging someone means. Then mom goes, OMG, how could you even be talking about that? You're way too young for that, so now you're grounded with no electronics for 375701788658901 for 2 years. I hate being an older sibling as I should not argue, yet sometimes I need to correct my sister and make a good point to make sure she understands things, yet I get told off as it is classed as arguing. Also, everyone thinks I am the liar, as in she could call me names throughout the whole day and I can go, can you stop calling me names? Then my sister goes, why are you lying? And she is off scot-free and I get told off as it is wrong. About the names she makes fun of me every day and it's really freaking annoying. Yet as the older one I should ignore her and deal with it. I have issues with depression, so her torment, I hate her and can't wait to leave the house and never see her again. Before anyone calls me a little b, I am 15 and she is 14, so only a year difference. I believe she is seen as the favorite child as she is also given more respect. Dude, I'm in the same situation as you. Me and my sister have a 2-year difference. She always makes fun of me and tries to argue with me. I know what you're going through. You know your parents favor them, but they always deny it even though you have hard proof. My theory is because your mom knew what to expect from the second pregnancy, she wasn't hurt as much and they resent you. I have found the phrase I love you all equally, just not at the same time, to be true. LOL, my parents' favorite changed multiple times during my childhood. You are stuck with most of the chores, and if your parents are new to or bad at parenting, then you don't get as much attention when it's needed. For X, you're having a bad day and want to rant to someone but they're busy taking care of the baby. Being the firstborn child, growing up during the satanic panic, all of a sudden it's no more cartoons and we gotta take away your toys cause it's witchcraft. Then later around 16 years old you come home from a movie to find all of your CDs stacked up and a hammer next to them all because your little brother found a cigarette hidden somewhere in your room. Better get to smashing cause all of these albums are of the devil. All the cool stuff that you had goes to them, which isn't a bad thing. But when you have a vintage box of 1990 NASCAR racing cards that almost all of them are signed and your parents force you to give it to your younger siblings, and you wake up one day later and almost all of the cards are missing, broken, ripped, or are full of creases, so no money for you when you turn 20 and those cards are worth thousands of dollars. Totally not speaking from a personal experience or anything. Being beaten by my younger sibling and not being allowed to fight back. Instead, take a deep breath, relax, and calmly ask your sibling to leave. They don't? Well, ask again, cause if you touch a hair on their heads you're punished, while your sibling can grab scissors and throw them at you, and the best you'll get to see is a mild scolding. A note to people who think that family should always support each other: there is no legal or moral obligation for me or anyone else to support their families if they do not wish to. They have lives of their own. Blood does not dictate your life, or whoever you choose to be with offer some of your free time to. No one will see this, but I'll comment anyway. 1. You always have to be responsible for them. If they frick up, it's your fault. You get blamed for everything they do wrong. You can't have fun, you can't make mistakes, you can't put a step wrong because you have to set a good example. 2. You can't have your own life. You have to do every single thing with them. If you try to do something by yourself, it's why don't you take them along? Do it with them. If you try to free yourself just a little, you're guilt tripped by your sibling and your parents. Nothing you ever do can truly be your own. 3. You're the guinea pig. You get to be the result of countless parenting fuck ups, and they have perfect parents, and you came from the same dang people. It hurts a lot more than people realize. Plus, your parents let them get away with everything you'd have been slapped for. They get the freedom you could only dream of. 4. Because you're always having to be the mature one, it becomes ingrained in you to always be mature and responsible and serious. You're always the one ruining everyone's fun. You can never completely let loose even once you get the freedom to do so. You'll never be carefree like your siblings get to be. You go through your whole life with the anxiety that comes from always having to be the mature one and never being allowed to show your real feelings. 5. Your parents tend to lean on you for emotional support because of your maturity. Your siblings lean on you because you're the oldest. Who's there for you when you need it? Nobody. At least not in your family. 7. Probably the most important. You are so goddamn unappreciated. Your parents simply expect you to be a little mini adult for your siblings. Your siblings? They've grown up carefree as the younger ones, but they still think they've got it bad. They complain about their oh so horrible life as the younger sibling to you, when their life is literal paradise compared to yours. Everything else would be so much easier if everyone actually appreciated everything you do for them. But they don't. They don't even notice. And I wish I could say it didn't bother me, but it freaking hurts. More than anything else on this list. You have to watch your younger sibling complain about how so and so sucked in their childhood, but you almost always had it worse. Being thousands of miles away from home and having your little sister call you during the night crying because she feels like a total failure in the eyes of her parents. I love my sister, and I feel lucky to have my parents, but if this ever happened it would break my heart. My 51F younger brother, 43M, thanks me for teaching him how to read. He calls me his real mother. It's bittersweet to know that I gave up my childhood to raise a good man. My lil bro forces me to do stuff. I would always help him all the time. If I needed something he would make an excuse saying but I'm tired. I can't do anything right now just so he won't do it. He would cry if I get mad at him. I'm a middle child, and I have 3 kids and my oldest is 10. I know I could be a better parent. I'm reading some of these comments and seeing some of my behaviors in them. First off, I'm sorry, and second, thank you. I hope to not make the mistakes that you're describing with my oldest. I appreciate all of your honesty and candor. I hope you can gain some solace that one dude is going to take to heart a lot of what you all said. Thank you again, this was a great question. My friend has 3 younger siblings, each a few years apart, and one of his biggest complaints is that growing up, he could never get out of the baby child stage of culture. Want to watch a sitcom? Nope. Time for Barney. Listening to popular music in the car? Nope. You get Raffi. Want to go out to an action movie? Nope. What's Disney got out this year? Being the second parent, I'm a middle child, so I'm constantly being the parent for all of my siblings. I was taught from a young age to care for children, and looking back at it, it's messed up. Younger me thought it was normal, but the more I looked at it, I wasn't supposed to do that. My parents are busy people and they always told me to do things and not complain. But to be thankful, I was 6 taking care of my younger sister, 2 years at the time. I'm a junior in high school now and I've learned how to put my foot down. Because I am older I should be taller, which I am. Since our dryer has broke, we have a clothing line. We have not fixed our dryer yet, and probably won't for a good while. Still, I have to hang laundry outside and it takes normally around 10-20 minutes to hang it, and my mom shouldn't do much. I have to do everything by myself. And it does not help at all that my younger sibling is super overdramatic, so she'll be least of any help at all. Last week I did 95% of the work and that was on myself. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.